All right, who has a 100-word summary of all the trouble you guys got into last week? Oh, you know what we better do is probably load up an actual game table.
What?
No.
Yeah, we're still in the Obsidian Spire when we left things off last week.
I should probably load up Tabletop Simulator, huh?
Adrex got to drive a dragon.
He did.
Does that sound like something I would let him do?
No.
No, not even a little bit. So, Adrex, why don't you give us a 100-word summary?
Oh, fuck. What the hell would we do?
Got him.
We went into the spire. We were in the spire.
Yep.
Nailed
it so far.
Adrex, can you give us a 100-word commentary without Nodal's interjections?
Nope. Eventually transported to an area with like 5 statues and stuff, and had to fight some machine things, slums or some kind, and took care of that issue. And then Adrex drove a dragon, which might be Kung Pao or whatever his name is.
Wow.
And yeah. Like, there's a reason why I did not write a live journal entry today.
Kung Pao Enter the Dragon.
He's like, I forget that it was like Ching Chong, Bing Bong, whatever.
I'm in pain right now.
The problem is that you actually typed out his name, and my brain had to process that. And now it's a problem.
Okay.
Jumanji Costco.
I feel so.
Wow.
On the subject of regrettable insensitivity, I heard a fun anecdote yesterday. I don't know how true it is. I imagine it's true because an old gaming buddy of mine was in town visiting, and we went out to hang out last night. He was telling us a bunch of stories. He's like more in touch with the gaming industry than the rest of us are. And apparently they were going to print a 5th edition of World of Darkness books. Like some of the original team got got legal hold of the license, and we're going to put out a new generation, like starting with Vampire, I would imagine. These writers, they had made a lot of good games in the past and done a lot of previous editions. 2nd edition is what we played most of, but they are not well known for being the most socially sensitive writers. And that was at a time before like the current like social justice movement. So like, even back in like the late 90s, there was like they're doing some questionable things. So the anecdote that I heard was they were going to pitch the new World of Darkness set in an Eastern European country where the culture is very anti-homosexual, and basically reskin it as vampires being the cause of it, but still using like the real world setting and material. And then the publisher's like, yeah, we're not publishing that, and we're not publishing anything.
No, it's absolutely, yeah.
It's like, you gotta read the room, guys, before you decide to put out your book.
I don't know. Those guys were clowns. They've done a lot of clown ass shit.
Oh, they have.
Yeah.
There's
noises everywhere.
There's a documentary about the rise and fall of White Wolf now that I need to sit down and watch at some point.
Oh, I'd like to see that at some point.
Because their big thing was taking like real world events and putting vampire and werewolf shit in it. And so by the end of the meta plot of all the games, like every historical and famous figure in the world was something. Like none of them were just people.
Yeah, I mean, like when your brand is that you're making edgy the shockening, you're gonna put out some horseshit.
The shockening. That's a good one. I like that.
All right.
So this guy's out. We don't need him anymore.
Yeah, screw that guy.
Done with him.
What was your intentions with Student 9, the Metal Man?
Has he? Like, I don't feel like he's done anything to warrant any violence.
Yeah, and it's really hard to talk about this because it's like they're both. He's here. Raazu is, after seeing Huyan down here with the keys to this place, makes me think that Han Tao was like suspecting that Student 9 was the problem. Maybe Student 9 isn't the problem. Maybe it really was Huyan, and now she's dead. That's what's going through Raazu's head right now.
Okay. And then there's the question of what to do with Bitterin, the kobold that was literally hanging out down in that room.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's got Raazu thinking that maybe Student 9 isn't the problem.
Like Huyan told us what she was. Huyan told us what she was doing.
Did she?
Yeah.
That sounds like something that could use a 100-word summary.
She told us she was trying to escape with her brother's husband's wife and kids, because the old dragon wants to turn the little ones into dragons, and it might kill them or something. I don't know. I'm a little fuzzy on that bit.
That's right. That happened.
Yeah.
And you guys fought 2 crazy robots with jet engines on their chests without taking a short rest, and I was very impressed.
I mentioned that.
Yeah, but you didn't mention that. You didn't mention that we just back to back the Shadow Doom encounter followed by the giant robot fight. That was like that wasn't. Yeah.
Now, 4th edition gave you like bonuses the more encounters you cleared without taking any kind of rest. There is no such progression in 5th edition. That's like, it just seems foolhardy to me.
It's fair.
That's what makes you a coward.
That's why I always just play short rest characters. We've had a lot of arguments like, hey, we need a long rest because we don't have any spells. I'm like, roll a real class, pussy. I'm ready to go.
Pick a warlock, nerd. You want to cast spells, be a warlock.
All right. Student 9 suggests perhaps taking a moment to regroup here. Before returning, you should take another excursion back into the central chamber and give him time to try to find an egress from the chamber without activating that statue again. If he has a way into and out of that chamber, he'll be able to come and go as he please, and that will exceedingly speed up and assist in his research.
So he's suggesting we stay out here while he goes in there by himself.
No, he's suggesting that you guys recuperate from the battle for a moment here, where it's relatively quiet, and then as many of you as you deem necessary come back through with him in case there are further dangers. He particularly believes that now we have kind of some sort of understanding on what these statues do and how to avoid the dangers therein. He's more interested in seeing if there's another exit from that chamber. Make a insight check.
Shared what his experience with the others.
And what exactly is your research again?
I've got a.
Let's resolve Birdie's check first.
I've got +3. Anybody beat that on insight?
Yeah.
Well, you're the only one rolling, so.
Oh.
Because you specifically asked a question.
9.
9. Okay. Adrex, you ask what his research is?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
what are your intentions here?
He tells you that the acceleration of his research is going to have to be ramped up more quickly than he expected because of the designs on this place. Specifically, he wasn't intending to find any sort of undead anywhere in these mountains. Between the dragon and the Aarakocra on the peak and the goblins in the surrounding lowlands, the fact that there were undead lurking here in any capacity is great cause for alarm, because he believes at this point that this spire is a vastly powerful weapon to be wielded. and he thinks that allowing anybody to wield it would be a great disaster. You can tell he's choosing his words very carefully. He's talking down to you without wanting it to sound like he's talking down to you.
Well,
That's fair. That's appreciated.
Okay. So, are you studying weapons then? Like, I consider myself a student of medicine, and I study medicine. Do you
asks
study
you
weapons?
what you would do if you came across in your journeys and in your studies a medicine that was so terrible that the only safe thing to do with it is to not use it. You could trust yourself to not use it, but could you extend that trust to all other people's?
And Adrex is thinking, visibly thinking really hard about this.
Raazu is looking back toward the room where Huyan's body is currently laying.
And it's still laying in there. I mean, you're not looking there from this room because there's a wall in between you.
Well, yeah, no, but Raazu's very obviously looking in that direction.
Raazu's blankly staring at the wall.
Just looking inward.
In short, he wants to look for a short-term solution to disable this weapon until he can better understand it.
What do you think the weapon would do if it were, I don't know, used?
Adrex, how much of your experience did you share with everyone?
Oh, Adrex only. He's not sharing anything because he still doesn't trust Student 9. So he was been only like winking, nudging, exaggerating. But I think from what happened last time, like you have a reasonable suspicion of like what happened. So Adrex hasn't delved into details, but it's kind of like you have a sneaking suspicion.
So Birdie asked what would happen if this weapon were used. He tells you that Qiang Zhao, in his current state, as all dragons of a certain age, is inclined to lay curled up on his pile of gold and touch the outer world only very delicately. All of his interests are bound inward into the bowels of this mountain. Somebody in control of this spire, as we have seen, could take that wrath and majesty and turn it outward to the open world and fields beyond. Imagine a Qiang Zhao who was an active participant in the battles and conflicts of the world outside.
Raazu shakes her head a little bit and is like, "Yeah, this is a little much. It's a little too much, I think."
And then he adds, and there are 4 more statues in that room.
So wait, the statues had names on them.
They did.
So were they specifically attuned to only one creature at a time? Were they created that way?
He tells him the only name besides Qiang Zhao's that he recognizes personally. He recognized all of them by reputation, by mythology, but the only one he recognized personally was Nidmengrind, a white dragon in the far north, who is very similar to Qiang Zhao and is harmless for similar reasons.
That they've turned their eyes inward rather than outward.
He's envisioning a malicious consciousness that gets a hold of this spire and can bend these 2 dragons to its will.
Who created it to begin with, though?
Like,
Because go ahead, Birdie.
I was gonna say that's a good question. Go ahead.
He says he has suspicions, but no evidence, and he would therefore prefer to not speculate.
it seems odd that someone would create something this powerful, would have the ability to create something this powerful, and then would just leave it here.
Perhaps whoever created it was overthrown by one of these 5 dragons.
How?
Maybe they banded together. Maybe there was more than one.
And so then
Maybe-
Student 9 turns the conversation back to his requests about regrouping here and then re-entering the room so that he may attempt to find an exit that doesn't involve triggering that statue.
And you said something about disabling this too.
He tells you that that might take a considerable amount of time, during which he is not inclined to share what he's learned thus far with Qiang Zhao or his men.
So, question: like you told me that the name on the black dragon plate, the one that I stole because spite, but how long ago was that you said that the black dragon in the swamp killed this dragon? Like, is that something that happened?
No.
Like how many years?
Time immemorial. Countless Kobold generations before you came along. This was ancient history by the time you were even hatched.
Okay. So like 50, 60 years?
Probably
10
more
years
like
ago.
500-600 years at a low estimate. And more realistically, a couple thousand.
Okay. Well, Birdie will share that with Student 9. He'll pull out his little plaque and say this dragon was killed according to our legends. He's dead. So maybe that's one less dragon to worry about on the evil dragon super weapon.
That might make it a useful research target. We know that it can't do any harm.
And Birdie asks Student 9, he says, how many dragons have you met?
And he gives you a vague and non-committal answer that basically boils down to it really depends on where you draw the line at dragon.
Larger than Adrex?
Then his response is many.
Like, can I have a number? How about the size? Right about, I don't know. I'm trying to remember age categories for dragons. Shit.
Birdie says, I'm trying to remember age categories for dragons. One was gargantuan.
Basically, about as old as my Black Dragon Sire and up till Qiangjong.
He tells you only a handful.
Have you met any black dragons?
And again, he gives you a non-committal answer that boils down to it depends on where you draw the line at Black Dragon.
Birdie shakes his finger at him and says, listen here now.
Can you give an example of a bad medicine like that? That sounds weird to me.
It tells you consider a peoples like the Yuan-ti, who are immune to most poisons. In this case, considering Yuan-ti medicine, there are great healing salves that are effective on them that would kill any other mortal. Would a substance that cures all Yuan-ti disease, but kills all else indiscriminately, be useful in the field of medicine? Could you trust everyone with this substance?
Adrex goes back into thought.
I like to picture, like, whenever Adrex is deep in thought, like, he just opens a nearby wardrobe and steps into it and then closes the door.
No, he crosses his arms and taps his head a few times, thinking.
A mental wardrobe.
Just knocks on his head.
Yeah.
All right. So I imagine this conversation is happening while we're taking a rest of some sort.
I wasn't imagining any sort of thing. Is that the case?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and take the benefits of the short rests.
Crappy rolls.
Yeah, same.
Good, so I can throw a couple more of those flamethrower guys at you.
Please do. That would
I've got
be fantastic.
I've got 3 more charges of my water.
What did I spend? I spent 5.
22.
Okay, so what's next?
Okay. So I guess a lot of us go back around and go back down in there and take a look and take a more thorough look. Birdie, you go down with Student 9 and the Kobold.
Bitterin absolutely refuses to go back into that room.
Birdie says, let's just let him go. He's lost a wing. I think he isn't gonna hurt anybody. Let him go.
How is Rolf holding up?
Rolf has this faraway look in his eyes, like he's trying to process what he stumbled into.
Okay.
Lost one of the shit.
Where's he gonna go now, you know? Like, even if he was free of you guys and this mountain and the dragon and this spire, he's still surrounded by hordes of goblins at the foot of the mountains, so.
Yeah, hell of a thing, ain't it?
So what's next? Basically, are you going to grant Student 9's request or deny it and go back?
I think
Yeah,
Student 9's request was fair enough.
yeah. Some of us should keep watch up here, just to have an anchor back, I guess. Again, Birdie, I think you're a magical expert. I think you would be best served down there. I'll go down as well. Adrex, you want to stay up here, or do you want to go down?
Is Adric still pondering this medicine question?
A little bit, yeah.
Adrex,
Yeah. What?
do you want to? We're going back down. Do you want to stay up here and keep watch, or do you want to go back down in there?
Let me go back down. Adrix obviously nods
I don't see any real need for us to split up. The path is one way anyway. It's not like we can retreat.
Yeah, but I have concerns in case someone else decides to go wandering in here. We're leaving the door open into that. In that case,
Do you want to keep watch then?
yeah, Rolf, you're with me.
And he says, gladly.
Thanks, Raazu. Good luck.
Yep.
Alright, let's spawn in 6 more flamethrower dudes.
Yay!
How much time do you guys give Student 9 in this room when you come back through?
I mean, were we given a?
He didn't give you any kind of estimate.
No, I mean, like, were we given a deadline by any of the other parties involved? I don't remember such a thing.
Hantel.
no,
I don't think Hantel ever. He didn't give us any kind of time limit.
His figuration was like, this is going to take however long it takes.
Okay. Well, then, however long it takes is fine with me.
Okay. Student 9 sets to work with one of his specialized hands, tracing along the inside of this center dais, which is smooth at the moment. And just sitting down and beginning the work, you realize it's going to take him several hours to make these great circles around. And these hours pass uneventfully. Raazu, are you holding Bitter and prisoner on the other side?
Raazu is of the opinion that, well, okay, once she and Bitterin and Rolf are alone, she's gonna start putting the screws to Bitterin and ask, so what was Huyan doing down here?
And he tells you he's already told you everything he knows about what Huyan was doing down here. His job was to be her loyal man, not to keep her secrets.
And your blind loyalty, Raz is just a little bit frustrated with this guy because he's... Does it seem like he's stonewalling?
No, it just seems like he doesn't know the exact intricacies of what she was doing. He knows that she was attempting to use this place in some capacity to help get Meekwin and her children out of here.
Okay.
But the actual mechanism by which she was hoping this would work, he has no clue. This wouldn't actually strike you as odd. This is a Hobgoblin follows similar orders as well.
Yeah.
If the general says charge, you don't sit around and what are the philosophical and moral implications of charging?
No, not at all.
So,
all right.
he asks you if you're planning on turning him back over to the Lord Master when you return.
What are your responsibilities to him?
Says, ideally, none.
Will he see it that way?
He kind of crosses his arms. He says, with your help, perhaps I'll be so far away from this mountain by the time he sees it at all that it won't matter.
Well, we are guests in this place. I'm not one to bite the hand that feeds, as it were.
Make an insight check.
Raazu's oblivious as fuck. That's a 3.
After 3 or 4 hours, Student 9 completes his task in the center here. And he calls Birdie over.
Okay.
Birdie, make an Arcana check, DC 20.
Okay. Well, that'll do it.
How'd you do?
That is a 30.
30. He asks if he may borrow a knife, a dagger, anything with a pointed edge.
Birdie digs out his dagger at his belt and hands it to him.
Student 9 takes it and he scrapes the tip of the blade across the material on the dais. And he asks you to observe that he's made no mark or scratch in the stone. He then goes to the back of the room, back to this well. And he leans way in, holding this dagger for a moment. And nothing happens. There's no flash of light or sound or anything. And when he pulls his arm and the dagger back, there's no physical change. But this time when he comes back to the dais and drags the blade across again, it leaves a scratch in the surface. And you watch, and over 30 or 40 seconds, the scratch begins to mend itself and it becomes smooth again. And then he shows you how to trace a particular line across the dais, making this very, not quite as intricate as the large spiral, but very complicated. And he bids you remember this mark in case you're in this room again and you have to activate the portal out. And as he says that, he finishes drawing the mark with the knife. The spiral again appears, and he hands it back to you, pommel first.
Cool.
And so, yeah, with Arcana 20, you can memorize this mark and get out of this room without using one of the dragons.
Okay. Yeah, I rolled a 30, so...
Edgar went back outside, and now he wants back inside, but he thinks the door is closed, because he is dumb.
But the door's not there.
The door's wide open.
And
Huge
so he's
sliding...
he's literally standing there.
He's literally standing there staring at the open door, wondering why I'm not coming to let him in.
He wants your permission.
But I think Edgar might be real dumb.
He is.
Like, that's not dog level dumb.
Now, to be fair, it's a sliding glass door, so when it's closed, it is, like, transparent. But, like, he should know, like... It was funny watching Rydia run into it the first few times. That was definitely interesting.
Did she figure it out, though?
Yeah, she figured it out. And you're still working on it after 12 years. I will give everybody except Raazu an individual insight check. Wendy, you're making this check at disadvantage.
Oh, it was almost a 20.
Alright.
How do we do on these?
11 for Birdie.
11?
17.
10.
17. Adrex, you're coming back through the portal, still kind of pondering this medicine question. So on one hand, you're like, Yuan-ti or dicks, who cares if we heal their shit? On the other hand, but Red's a Yuan-ti, and I kind of dig on him. Like, it's starting to hurt a little bit. Like, but if you got one person you know on this side of the trolley and 5 people tied up on this side, but you don't know them,
Why not just destroy the train?
and you realize that
That's thinking.
Bitterin is being very sullen and very quiet, and he avoids eye contact with any of you when you come out. And you mislike this, and you're not sure why.
While they're still down there, Raazu will say, listen, if you can make it worth my while to lie by omission to a very powerful creature that could incinerate me with a thought, then you're more than welcome to try.
Like, Birdie's confused. He's like, he looks at the kobold. He's like, why are you still here?
He says that he had... he kind of glances at Raazu, an enlightening conversation with your hobgoblin friend while you were gone.
Birdie looks at Raazu and he's like, he's a kobold. We don't have anything. He can't give you anything.
And Student 9 suggests that now would be a good time to return and report back to Hantao.
Yeah.
Adrex gets too close to Student 9, too like socially acceptably close,
Okay.
and
Get into the
says,
bubble.
"Hey, buddy, what you thinking about?"
He tells you that it pleases him that you consider the two of you friends.
Got him.
Well, of course, we've been working together now for what, few hours? Yeah.
That's enough.
But yeah, what's on your mind? What you thinking about? What's going on in that there noggin?
Make an Arcana check. DC 20.
Somebody's been slacking on his lessons, and now it's gonna bite him in the butt.
A little bit. It's a 9.
He explains to you what he's thinking about, but you don't understand any of it.
I would like to point out that if he had been taking his Arcana lesson seriously, he would have passed that roll.
No. No, he wouldn't.
He said DC 12, right?
20.
20.
Oh, well, never mind. No, he wouldn't have. I thought you
Oh.
said 12.
Quick to shit talk there, huh, Birdie? No,
But Adrex pretends to nod and understand.
Okay.
Okay.
But he's definitely not. I mean, you asked him what he's thinking about. He told you what he's thinking about. It's just he was thinking about something much more complicated than you can handle.
Sure.
Weird magic bullshit.
no, as far as Bitterin goes, Raazu's of the mind that if he flees, it's fine, whatever.
And he makes no move to flee as you guys climb back up this rope, make your way back up the spiral. Inside the spider.
I did want to bring back Huyan's body to Hantao, though.
Okay, how are you getting her out of here?
That's
And
the question.
We have ropes.
You gonna hoist her
Oh,
up
shit.
and just drag her back?
Well, I mean, we could make a litter,
Yeah.
but while we're doing that, I'm going to motion to our little red missing a wing Erd friend and just tell him to go while we're doing this.
Yeah, why are you still here? I thought you were leaving.
I need Raazu and Adrex. You guys both wear gloves, right?
Yep.
Yes, Adrex does.
Okay. Are you able to make me deception checks at advantage?
It is a 16.
Rose's deception is a 27.
Okay. Birdie, you tell Bitterin to just take off.
Yeah. It's like, just take off. Like I'll cover for you. Don't worry about it. I've been in his situation, basically.
He tells you that he appreciates the sentiment, but marches back with you all the same.
Okay.
When you guys return to Qiangjiao's court, the place is in as much of an uproar as you have seen it.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and put your markers up top there, just in case a fight breaks out.
Why is that? Huh?
Why would you do that?
Let's go ahead and shrink you guys down so you feel very, very small. There is quite a lot of activity. Predominantly a lot of the kobolds moving around, a lot of the mercenaries. You see the various guests. Killar, the Birdman, and who else was here?
The Dragaboo.
Loreskin, Red Scales.
Dragaboo.
I guess just the two of them, because Student 9 was with you. Oh, and Sliggy, the Goblin Alchemist.
Yes.
She's not one of the guests here. She was one of the remnants of the Quiet Bones. But you see the three of these people have kind of been brought to the center of the court here and are being guarded by these other gray-skinned hobgoblins that look to be led by a couple of these Dragonborn, some of Hantao's men. And you can see Sliggy is absolutely not happy about this whatsoever. She is livid because her hobgoblins have essentially turned on her or turned her out of their group or whatever the case, presumably at the dragon's insistence. You meet very heavy guard at the bridge as you're coming across to the south, and you're told from this point to proceed directly to this central camp area and to turn over all weapons. And they point to a little pile of just weapons and stuff at their feet next to them. Not an enormous pile, just whatever Kilari happens to have. Red scales, daggers, and things.
What's going on?
And he tells you into the pile or into the fire. It's your choice.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Raazu wraps her trident, takes the whip off her belt, places them both in the pile. Actually, she doesn't need to wrap it right now because it doesn't have its cold properties when in this area.
Yeah, right. Once you re-enter the radius of the dragon's domain, the trident becomes inert.
Yeah.
Adrex takes off his whip, his longsword, puts the fucking hammer into the pile.
You are now unencumbered.
Gives a goodbye kiss to the Fey Claymore. Faymore.
It burns your lips off.
I'll be back for you, buddy.
Wendy slides her weapons off.
Okay.
The ground shakes at the sheer volume of them.
You guys take 2 steps away and the whole part of the cliff just falls into the lava.
Makes sense.
Wendy shrugs. She'll just find another orc.
Oh no, you're gonna have to leave your arms in the pile.
Oh no.
You can leave them here right next to Kilari's arms.
The arms have to go into the safe.
Birdie takes his little short sword and his little dagger that he keeps strapped to his belt and takes his short bow off and sticks it on the pile.
Bitterin wasn't carrying any weapons. He tells you that he has much to report, that he doesn't have time for this, whatever this is. He needs to see Hantao immediately. Do what you will with the trespassers, but I need to see the man in charge.
Yes, I would like to speak to Hantao.
I think we'd all like to speak to Hantao. You know what's going on?
And they reiterate to you that for now, what's going on is you're going to be directed to the center of the encampment here and held under guard until further instructions come. And then he begins engaging in a brief argument with Bitterin about whether or not he should be taken to Hantao immediately. And then Bitterin lets loose when he points back at Huyan's body and says, I would report to the captain that his sister has been slain. And then he looks at Raazu, and this is the one that dealt the death blow. I would give a report.
Raazu looks infuriated at this.
Not as infuriated as these Dragonborn standing here, having heard that you've slain Huyan.
Raazu shouts out, "You liar."
Is anything else happening?
Yeah, she's going to go throttle that kobold.
She's going to throttle the kobold. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I get to spawn a whole bunch of guys in and we get to roll initiative. Just all be red, I guess. All right.
I mean, like, what about Subject 9? Subject 9, shit. Student 9, where's he?
He's with you guys, and he looks... I mean, just kind of as emotionless as normal when he hears what the kobold has to say.
I mean, he was in the room when.
Yeah.
He doesn't say anything against this, but he also hasn't had much time.
Right.
Like, he's going to be on the initiative order just like everybody else. There's Student 9. I got Dragonborn. I got Hobgoblins. I guess I can keep Kobolds in reserve in case things get real jiggy with it. Go ahead and place yourselves at the area up here where, in the kind of configuration you want to be standing. Oh, I guess we need Rolf, because Rolf could absolutely get killed here. Here's Rolf.
Those the hobgoblins?
The white ones are the gray-skinned hobgoblins. So two of them are back here, kind of just collating your weapons and organizing them a little better because you guys just kind of slopped them all down. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the hobgoblins keeping watch over the other two guests. And here's Bitterin. We'll make him orange. All right, let's roll some initiative.
Wait, I thought we just rolled initiative.
Well, you can keep... I haven't rolled yet because I've been spawning in dudes.
Okay. I mean, I rolled and then I was like, wait a second here.
We don't need red here. Ever again.
I could play red. Hey, I'm red. I don't have any emotions.
And that makes me very sad.
Rogue stuff.
When did Destil get here? Wow.
We have enough treasure.
Wait, there's one more
Damn.
initiative I feel like I need to roll here.
When are we going to Eberron?
He's never gonna let Treble is never gonna let that go. Listen, Treble, you can't beat McLean for leaving behind treasure. Never.
That was not on purpose, though. There's a difference. There's a difference.
I don't know.
I'm looking for one more. I haven't used this villains tab for a very long time. Here, we'll just use this.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. We gotta make him red, though. Did that work? No, I see it did not.
Got him.
He went bleh!
That's incredible.
Yeah, I don't think he fits on the initiative order.
He does. It's fine. If he had
He's
rolled
actually
like
all of
if he had rolled like a 13, it would be a much bigger problem, but he didn't. So, Wendy,
Yes.
you win the initiative, and here's what happened. Everybody's put their weapons down. They're starting to march you towards this area here, where the hobgoblins are. So your weapons are in these squares over here.
Okay.
These guys are not on the table. These are just extra Dragonborns.
Oh my god, they just fell into the fire! Oh, it's a massacre!
As you guys are being marched forward, Bitterin is having an argument with one of the other Dragonborn about how he needs to see Hantao immediately, because he watched as Raazu dealt the killing blow to Huyan, and he wants to make this report. He also refers to you guys as trespassers. Immediately after this, you see Raazu spin around and go to throttle this kobold. And you have initiative.
Alright.
Actually, let me see if anything happens before your initiative. You know what? No, it can't happen before your initiative.
Nothing can happen before my initiative.
Well, it could, but technically the ancient red dragon in the other room is surprised because he doesn't know what the shit's going on out here.
Alright, yeah, well, fuck this. I'm gonna do some monk shit.
Okay.
If I do a flurry of blows, can I kick everyone's weapons to them?
No.
Come on.
No.
Monk shit.
No. Also, if you're going to stand on this square, you've basically got your back to the pool of lava.
It's fine, I can fly.
I'm going to go ahead and draw out the bridge then. Since it seems like it might be relevant. From that square, you can pick up or you can pick up whatever you want, but I'm going to say it provokes opportunity attacks from these two guys here, because you're basically just standing in front of them, picking up your weapons after you just were ordered to put them down.
Yeah.
Oh, I have 2 more initiatives. I got to roll. So what's Windy doing?
So it's just Raazu going for the Kobold? Like, I realize you've rolled for initiative for everyone, but have they actually gone to enter a fight?
Not yet, but I mean, as soon as Raazu grabs his Kobold's neck, that's where it's going. Oh, now I need 18. You know, we'll just call it that 19 instead of 18.
Well, I don't know that we can take an ancient red dragon. So, I'm gonna fly.
You gonna fly?
I'm gonna fly.
Okay.
Where does it look like? So we come from here, right?
You came from across the white bridge here.
Does it look like the people are heading across this bridge to the southeast, or is most of the focus like on this island?
You can't see that far anyway.
I can. 60 feet.
Oh.
2, 3.
That's why I'm specifically asking about like this right here.
Oh, I thought you were asking about this bridge back here.
No. I'm saying like, are people like? Does it look like people are leaving this island, or does it look like
There's a lot of movement.
most of the action is happening here?
There's a lot of movement coming and going. Mostly the kobolds, which I haven't marked on this map because, let's be honest, they're kobolds.
Alright. I'm going to say F this and go look for Hantao.
Okay.
As I kind of head southeast, does it look like I can find like the center of the action? Because I'm going to assume he's going to be there.
He's definitely not on this center bridge.
Alright.
And as you take to the air, you hear the hobgoblins behind you. One of the Dragonborn commands them. Focus your arrows. Bring her down. That's going
Good
to bring
fucking
us...
luck. Oh, no, it's not.
It's not?
I'm a monk, buddy. I'll bring myself down right here.
Okay.
And I'll call out, Hantao, we've got a problem.
There are more Dragonborn over here. Oh, I got some more right here. I don't have to copy any more in. So you're setting down there?
Out of the lava.
Uh-huh. Shout out for Hantao, and that's basically it. That's all I got.
50. That's
Even monk
probably-
bullshit only brings me 210 feet.
Okay, so you're aware of 2 Dragonborn guards here that you have alerted with your call. That's going to bring us to Bitterin, who spends his turn disengaging from Raazu.
Sentinel.
Oh, okay.
Punch him in the
Killing
head.
him instantly.
Punching. Can't kill him instantly. I only have unarmed strike right now. That's 17 to hit.
Okay, so you do 1 damage. What was it? 1 or 1 plus your strength mod?
1 plus strength mod, so 4 damage. I lay him flat.
Killing him instantly.
Knock him to the ground when it's clear. I mean, he's telling these Dragonborn nearby, "Why are you on the ground? You shouldn't be here." telling these Dragonborn nearby that you've dealt a killing blow to the Lord Master's daughter, and the first thing that happens is you drop your mailed hand on his head, and he crumples to the floor. Okay, blue is currently in the lava. That's going to bring us to the Dragonborn.
Yeah, we get it. It's a lot of dice.
I might even have to roll more if one of these hits properly. As the Dragonborn close in around Raazu. Raazu. I have an 18.
Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not aiming for your AC. I need you to make a strength, athletics, or dexterity acrobatics check and beat an 18.
Okay. That's one pass.
Okay. Do it again. This time you need to beat a 20.
Yep.
Okay, now you need to beat a 12.
Yep.
Now you need to beat a 5.
I can literally not fail that. I remember this happening last time.
Now you need to beat a 17.
10 or better. Yep. Just barely.
Now you need to beat an 18.
11 or better. There it is.
So, I finally get you grappled with the 4th Hobgoblin, who uses his next move to push you prone on the ground and put his knee in your back.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks up to the rest of you and says, the rest of you, there's only 2 of you here. Well, there's 3 with Rolf.
Wasn't there a bird? What the fuck?
He tells you, stand down, and it will be only your bird friend that feels the Lord Master's wrath. And that's going to bring us to Raazu. You are being grappled. And you're laying prone.
I'm going to push him off of me.
Okay, you're going to try to attempt to break the grapple?
Yep. He's got to beat a 17.
Oh, I rolled a 1.
Half my movement to stand up.
Okay.
And Raazu will point to Huyan's body and shout, "You look on her body. You see no blades, or you'll see no blades marking her body."
And Bitterin, crumpled to the ground, coughs up some blood. Says, she wielded that huge hammer that the Dragonborn was carrying. Is that Raazu's turn?
Yeah, it's Raazu's turn.
Birdie.
Birdie's just gonna walk over here and just squat down and go and look at him and go, "Why?"
Are you going to use your action for anything? I'll let you use your action make a passive insight.
Okay.
I'm sorry, an active insight.
So that's a 21.
21?
Yeah.
And he's definitely acting like he's more hurt than he is. Like you've been beaten up by Raazu before, but he leaned into that punch and went down to the ground, and he just gives you this look, and in his face you just see the fear of dragon fire, and you instinctively understand why.
The sheep punch.
He was way more afraid of this red dragon than he was of Raazu. And that was Birdie. That's going to bring us to Hobgoblins.
I thought they just went to grapple me. Where's the Dragonborn?
No, those were the Dragonborn.
Okay, so you said hobgoblins before.
Oh, did I? My bad. But the white ones are the Hobgoblins. They have not.
Hobojabos.
Hobojabos.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I've got those in they're stat block in a different text file here. Raazu.
Hey.
How many hit points do you have?
I have some. Wish I'd rolled higher on those on that short rest earlier.
Okay. I have a 16,
Nope.
a 15,
Mm-mm.
a 10,
Fight harder.
a 12,
Nope.
a 10.
Uh,
Did the 10 do it? Was that it?
no.
What about a 9?
No. No.
Did you just sort those dice like largest to smallest, or did you actually roll that way?
No, I actually rolled that way, and I gave in order of 2, 3, 4,
Pooped a
5,
butt.
6, 7. Did I put enough hobgoblins down? I did, because there's 2 up here. Okay, gotcha. I can only roll 5 of these guys at once. I have 2 nat 20s in here.
Oh boy, that's
Raazu.
not fair. Hey.
I have a 15,
Nope.
an 8,
Nope.
another 8,
Nah.
nat 20.
Yep.
10 points of piercing damage from the first hobgoblin's arrow.
Ow.
And then I've got a 13, a 10, an 8,
Nah. I don't want any of that.
a non-natural 20,
That'll do something.
8 points of piercing damage from the second hobgoblin arrow.
Sure.
Then I've got a 17
Nope.
and a second nat 20.
Ugh. Okay.
And that one's good for 11 points of piercing damage. As these
Sure.
hobgoblins line up in a tight line kind of around, they've only got 2 prisoners to keep an eye on, and they start loosing arrows in Raazu's direction in an attempt to bring her down. And you're
They
really
did,
good at
though.
dodging their arrows because they're kind of lowish level hobgoblins, but
I
couple of them
imagine that
find
a
them.
lot of these arrows just plink off of her armor, but 2 get her really good in the chest.
Adrex. Student 9 leads in close and he whispers very, very lowly. You scarcely can hear him over the sound of this combat happening in front of you. And he tells you, do something to defuse this situation, or we are all dead. Adrex, it's your turn.
So Raazu picks a fight the week that Red isn't here. I love it. Student 9 says, I wish Red was here right now.
Adrex, what you've seen is they've wrestled Raazu to the ground and she got back up and now they're peppering her with arrows. And you know that Raazu can fight, but a few rounds of this and you don't know what happened to Windy. Windy abandoned you at long last.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
Now she's gonna have her own spin-off show.
All right. This goes over here.
Okay. Behind Bitterin here?
Yeah, deliberately getting in the way of Bitterin.
Okay.
Says, 1, everybody just take a deep breath and relax. Raazu, say you yield. I'll make sure this little thing doesn't go anywhere.
What is Adrex doing with his like limbs at this point? Like his arms.
And Adrex follows that up with, because if this guy goes anywhere, he's going to have to deal with Isenth the Chosen and Grandress Protector of the Sky, and flexes his muscles.
Did you just name your arms?
Yes, he did.
That's incredible.
Thank you, fantasynamegenerators.com.
Adrex doing anything else on his turn?
Other than boasting, no.
Okay. It's going to bring us back to Windy. So, Windy, you've flown over the lava bridge and landed here. You were aware of 2 Dragonborn in this area here. But you're not able to, quote-unquote, see around much of this corner because you've only got the 60 feet.
Uh-huh.
And there's still various commotion in this area. Kobolds running back and forth. You hear cries coming up in their kobold tongue. Like, what's she doing flying across the lava? Do you speak Draconic?
No.
No, okay. Then you don't hear one of them say something along the lines of someone needs to inform the Lord Master. What do you do?
All right. I'm going to... So where was... I don't see him immediately over here. Where was his home the last time we were here? Like, with his wife
all the way
and
back
child?
over here.
Yeah, his wife and children live in this structure over here, and then this structure here was where they had bedrolls laid out for various guests. No, I'm sorry, that wasn't. The guests just kind of camped wherever. This was essentially the Kobold barracks.
All right, so that was their house. Did we see or hear them? Because we were like 5 feet away, right? So they weren't.
There
it
was
didn't
so
seem
much.
Like they were in there.
There was so much commotion that without an active perception check, you wouldn't have had the opportunity to.
Okay.
Because you had hobgoblins and dragonborn barking orders at you, and Raazu having arguments, and Bittern lying, and Birdie peeing himself.
Sure. I'm just gonna get this close,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna shout into the cavern. We're looking for Huyan, right?
Hantao.
Hantao, thank you. Hantao, if you're in there, we need to talk. There's a commotion by the entrance, and then I'm gonna fly my way back.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put my arms up.
You're going to surrender when you land?
Yep.
Bittern does nothing. I'm sorry, before Bittern does nothing... Okay. Yeah, Bittern does nothing. And then you hear the roar of the dragon from the direction in the cave. Windy, you scarcely leave the area, take off from here back across the bridge after calling out for Hantao. Then you hear this and feel the shockwave of this roar behind you. So let's go ahead and actually push you like here, because you get an extra 5 feet just from the wave of it.
Nice.
And it seems like the whole place shakes as this dragon begins to move.
Now Birdie is peeing.
Now Birdie's peeing. Okay, that's going to bring us back to Dragonborn, who, when they see Raazu's not going to go quietly, will start using their swords. Do they have swords? They have swords. See, and this is why I don't want to keep track of like what weapons are drawn in each hand, because then I'd have to keep careful track for fucking 8 hobgoblins and 4 dragonborn who are grappling one round and attacking the next. I do have a nat 20 in this pile.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
I don't like that.
A 14?
Nope.
A 16?
Nope.
A 16?
Nope.
Nat 20.
That'll hit, and that'll probably bring Raazu down.
10 points slashing damage.
Yep, that's she's down.
She's down?
Yep.
Raazu clatters to the ground in her armor. This one steps forward and pulls back with his longsword to deliver the coup de grace. Student 9 standing behind them in a very monotone voice, in a very detached, I'm an impartial witness to this scene kind of voice, says, "Shouldn't the Lord Master stand in her judgment?" And it stays this Dragonborn sword. However, these 3 hobgoblins standing here do not feel the same compunction. In other words, these Dragonborn have been momentarily stymied by Student 9, but these hobgoblins will absolutely deliver killing blows. Raazu, make a death save.
Oop. Wrong button. That's a fail.
Okay. Birdie.
Running out of gods to bring you back, Raazu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Birdie's gonna jump on Raazu's body to shield it.
What kind of armor is Birdie wearing?
Leather.
Leather. Now, are you laying
No,
prone over her?
Yeah.
If you're laying prone over her, melee weapon attacks against you have advantage.
Can I block them from hitting her by not laying prone on her?
Can you block her from hitting her at all? Is the better question.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, because this is a very noble sacrifice on your part. With a dexterity performance check, I'll set the DC at 15. If you pass this check, I'm not going to set a DC. I'll roll their insight against you. If you pass this check, you'll convince these hobgoblins they have to cut you down to get to Raazu, and then you can absorb this next round of attacks. How's that sound?
23.
23?
Yeah.
The highest I got was a 22.
Oh.
How many hit points do you have? Because you're about to have a lot less.
I have. Let's see if you can't. I have full hit points. So
Birdie dives into Raazu's space and gets out his. Oh, he doesn't have any knives, so I don't know what he's going to deflect these blows with. But he starts dancing over the corpse, kind of like, if you want to get her, you're going to have to go through me. And they intend to, and that's what happens next. Oh, I got a nat 20 in here.
The nat
Dude,
20s.
when you get to roll
calm down.
6 and 8 d20s at a time, you're bound to see them. I also got a lot of 13s. Just 13s don't mean anything.
you need a 17 to hit me.
I got a 24 to hit you
Okay.
for 5 points of slashing damage.
All
We
right.
can throw away that 3. We can throw away that 9. 16 will hit you.
Okay. No. You need a 17.
I need a 17. Okay, so we throw away the
Yeah.
16. Natural 20.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a big one, too. For 17 points of slashing damage.
Okay, I'm gonna uncanny that one.
Okay,
Probably wise.
so 8 points of
Yes,
slashing
probably
damage
good
on that
call.
one. And then the last one is a 16 again. As these hobgoblins begin to cut you down, and you're like, this is the most heroic and most stupidest thing I've ever done for a woman who just beats me with a whip relentlessly at every feasible opportunity.
That's
Like-
love for a kobold.
Yeah,
Like-
that's
Like Wendy said, we ran out of gods. We can't get another Raazu.
Adrex.
Yes.
Student 9 leans in close to you again.
Yeah.
Just try harder.
He says, flee across the bridge, make your way for the spire, and do what you have to from there. And then he turns and faces the two Dragonborn guards on the other side of the bridge, and their very small kobold contingent that are now running in your direction across the bridge. Adrex, do you know what he's asking, or should I make you make an insight check?
I want both.
What do you think he's asking you to do?
I think he's asking me to run back into the spire, get back to that statue, and take a hold of try to take control of that red dragon again.
Now that's a long journey. I mean,
That is an incredibly long journey.
you guys
yeah.
trekked for probably an hour or two in the caves. I mean, at normal speed. If you were running the whole time, you'd make the distance a lot better. And then you'd have to probably dive into the boiling water. But this is your moment of choice. Do you stand and fight with your friends when you hear the roars and the motion of this red dragon in the distance, or do you listen to Student 9 and make for the spire?
Let's make for the spire.
Okay. You are going to have to,
Yeah.
well, depending on what route you take, because moving past this hobgoblin, you'd have to enter his threat range to get to the bridge, unless you go around Student 9. You are going to have to do something about the other two Dragonborn coming towards you on the bridge when you get to that point. And you don't have any weapons.
Why couldn't I have just rolled better on my on my hit dice that I spent?
All right.
I rolled like 2s and 3s and 4s.
Mm-hmm.
Roll better.
Yeah.
I love how the regret there is not actively antagonizing the
I'm
army.
playing the character. I'm playing the character.
That's what his character would do.
Exactly.
All right, Adrex,
Well,
what's
I got
up?
good news for you. You won't have to use that defense anymore. in a couple
I know,
minutes.
right? Yeah.
Adrex, what are you doing?
I will just say personality trait. When my anger is roused, I have trouble thinking straight, and I fear I might do something I'll regret.
So
We'll
you
just
do
see what
regret
that
this.
AC.
All right.
Maybe, yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
I regret it. I regret it a
Adrex.
lot.
Picks up one of the axes he left behind,
Okay.
hurls it at this hobgoblin.
Okay.
Oh shit, we're doing this, huh? Okay.
I'm going to make you either spend 10 feet of movement to pick up the axe or make the throw at disadvantage because of the unwieldiness of grabbing it up off this pile in between these other two
Alright.
hobgoblins and whipping it around.
Alright.
Assuming your planning is to go across the bridge.
Yes.
Okay.
It's to eventually go across the bridge.
So
but-
you either have to sacrifice some movement to pick up to take your time and pick up the axe and aim your shot, or you can make the attack at disadvantage.
really needed to land, so
You got blips. I know you got blips. Everybody got blips.
I do have blips. I do got
Now
blips.
you got precision attack.
I do have precision attack. Yeah, all right, let's roll it at disadvantage and
Hell yeah.
The
See
man
what
who rolls
happens.
more ones than I've ever seen in my life is gonna willingly make the check at
Here
disadvantage.
comes the 220s. Here comes the precision attack.
So that's
that is a 12 to hit.
12's not gonna do it.
All right,
The hobgoblins are
attack.
armored.
All right, precision attack. Let's add another. Since I rolled d10s now. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. What did I say? It was
Plus
3
4
plus
is
12.
12.
So
That puts it to
9, 12,
16.
16.
16 will hit.
16 will hit. All right.
See?
For 9 damage.
And as this guy's trying to
And-
pin Birdie down with his sword, you just whip this axe.
Please to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save. How's a 3 do?
All right, he takes another 10 damage,
Okay.
and he has disadvantage on if he attacks anyone but me.
Okay.
And then Adrex starts sprinting across the bridge.
Okay, so you're gonna take 2 AOs from these hobgoblins up here by the weapons.
Yep.
I have a 20 to hit
Yeah,
and a 7 to hit.
that does not hit.
5 points slashing damage from
Alright.
one of the hobgoblins as you start running. Now, when you run across the bridge, as long as you disengage from these other Dragonborn approaching, they're not going to be able to do anything to you. But if
Yeah,
you don't disengage, they're probably going to try to grapple you and throw you off the bridge.
No, he's absolutely going to disengage.
Okay.
He has to run like he's never run before and not lose concentration.
Wendy, all you saw was Student 9 lean in towards Adrex, and his mouth moved almost imperceptibly, and then Adrex just did that thing, which you've never seen Adrex do before, is run from a fight.
Yeah, but he then bolted pell-mell and threw an axe. So I mean,
That's
not
pretty
that
good.
out of character.
That's
That's
a
pretty
wash.
good.
It's a wash.
Is it? Oh, are you saying it's my turn?
Oh,
Is
yes,
that-
it's your turn. We're back at the top of the order.
All right then. Well, I guess we're doing this. So these guys are hobgoblins.
The whites are hobgoblins, the reds are dragonborn.
All right.
So the red guys would be Han Tao's men, which is why their weapons were stayed when Student 9 mentioned the dragon being the one who should have justice over Raazu, surely.
Alright. And I'll just look towards the Dragonborn, and I'll just say, all I'm asking is you wait and talk to Hantao before you kill her, and then I'm going to go knock out these hobgoblins.
So I'm going to let you make a persuasion check.
Yeah.
But immediately making a violent move after this check, success or fail, is going to negate any possible success. Because you can't tell these guys, hey, let's maybe hold on until Hantao gets here, and then immediately step forward and start beating on hobgoblins. It's not going to
Okay, what if I do this?
Mm-hmm.
What if I do that? Go stand here and ready in action that if this guy is going to do the killing blow on Birdie, then I'll knock him out.
You stand behind him and ready in action. If he goes to attack Birdie, then you're going to try to knock him out?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still say the thing? You still want to try?
Yeah, I still say the thing.
Okay, go ahead and say the thing.
I'll say the thing. And depending on how badly I roll, maybe I'll just kill a hobgoblin. That's alright. 14?
14. One of the Dragonborn barks to the hobgoblins to stand down. Says, in any event, how often do we see the Lord Master administer his justice personally? And as if in response, you hear the dragon roaring from the back of the cave. Is that the end of Wendy's turn?
Mm-hmm.
Bitterin does nothing. How far can he move? So he's going to have to squeeze through part of the space here. And you don't see the dragon yet, but you see gouts of flame. Or I guess just orange light in the smoke and smog of the distance. Bright flashes out here at the exits of the cave. These two hobgoblins train their weapons on Birdie. Or on Wendy. These two train their weapons on Birdie. And they have readied actions. If either of you make a move, they're going to cut you down.
Like any move or just
an aggressive move.
Oh, okay.
Raazu, how about a death save?
Sure.
Don't fail this one.
Try not to. Bye.
And there it
goes. It's another failure.
Birdie.
Yep. I'm going to can I have access to one of the potions that was on Red?
No, Red's got those. He's not here.
I've got potions.
Yeah. I'm going to make a medicine check to try and stabilize.
Okay, first you're going to have to convince this hobgoblin that you... Or you're not taking the potion from Wendy, you're going to medicine check?
Yeah, I'm going to do a medicine check. I'm not moving.
Do you have a healer's kit of any kind?
No, which is... The healer's kit just makes it where it auto-succeeds. I have to roll.
That's, you can't restore hit points without the healer's kit. Okay, yeah, go ahead and make that medicine check.
Okay.
You should have made it better.
You know what? I'm gonna blip that.
Okay. 2 blips.
Can't do much worse than that.
I mean, you are technically correct.
You know, it's funny.
Much worse.
I'm not going to say anything. I can't say anything because I'm unconscious right now. There's something really funny that I'm looking at right now.
It's pretty funny. Is that all you're doing, Birdie? Is trying to stabilize Raazu's wounds?
Yeah.
Okay. And hobgoblins also ready actions. And you hear bowstrings go taut from the line behind you. Student 9 takes a couple ginger steps forward with his arms kind of splayed out. He says, whatever crimes the trespassers may have committed against your Lord Master, they were instrumental in helping me unlock the secrets of the Obsidian Spire. Before he meets judgment upon them, I only pray that he would hear my words. I would share with him what I have learned. Adrex, what you doing?
Disengage and run.
You're running across the bridge?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you blow past these 2 Dragonborn who turn and begin to chase you.
Adrex, you do have an action surge to get a lead on them.
I know. I gotta. Yeah, I know.
He knows.
Wendy, are you done fighting for the time being?
Can I try to heal Raazu? By which I mean, if I go to heal Raazu with a potion, are they gonna take a shot at me?
You're going to have to convince this guy that you reaching through his space is not an aggressive action, keeping in mind that he very likely knows you're a monk. But you're going to have to explain to him what you're doing. Can I just
toss it to Birdie rather than...
That has the same problem because you're still grabbing something and throwing it through his space.
All right.
Worst case scenario, he thinks you're attacking him and he'll attack you first.
Okay, well, I don't trust the hobgoblins.
I wouldn't.
So I'm going to...
Hobgoblin just got all you guys in lots of trouble for no real good reason.
Yeah. The Dragonborn go before Raazu. I'm going to say to the Dragonborn, I'm pulling a healing potion out from my pouch. I'll hand it over to you. Can you administer it to Raazu so she doesn't die before the Lord Master gets here?
Are you holding the potion out?
Yeah, I'll hold it out to the Dragonborn.
He grabs it greedily, and you see him throw the cork on the potion and hold it up to his nose and sniffs it very suspiciously. Is that the end of Wendy's turn?
Mm-hmm.
Bitterin does nothing. And let's go ahead and put the dragon here. I mean, I guess we still do need him on the initiative order, though.
Surprise, Durgan.
Surprise, Durgan. He rolled a 17, but there's just nobody in this initiative, so it worked out pretty well.
That's fair.
Wendy, make a persuasion check. Actually, unless you roll with like a 2 or 3 or something stupid, it's not going to matter. Don't roll stupid.
I didn't.
Okay. The Dragonborn kneels. He holds his arm out at length towards Birdie, and he holds the potion in the other hand. And very suspiciously, he kneels towards Raazu to go to administer this potion. Birdie, you have the opportunity here to make an opportunity attack because he's going to be doing something in your square here.
No.
Okay.
Wendy,
go ahead and roll the healing potion for Raazu.
Surprise! It was actually one of Red's poisons.
Got him.
That's Nodal's favorite phrase.
I love it. It's my catchphrase. That's a 6.
6.
6 hit points.
6 hit points.
So, Raazu, you regain consciousness. Right now, this hobgoblin's got his knee in your back. This Dragonborn here is reaching over towards you. His arm's in your square. And you don't see Adrex anywhere. So, clearly he got thrown over into the lava. It's your turn. These 3 hobgoblins are continuing to ready... Or, I'm sorry, Dragonborn are continuing to ready actions.
I mean,
Birdie and Wendy look like they're standing down.
Yes, they give no indication they're continuing the fight, but you still don't see Adrex anywhere.
Raazu doesn't stand up, but she holds her arms up, hands splayed.
The one who just fed you the potion, do you speak Draconic?
Yes.
He says something in this very growly voice. Not grovelly, my goodness, he got you right where he wants you. A very growly voice about how much he's going to enjoy watching the Lord Master feast upon your meats and organs. Perhaps he will be honored for his Lord Master to throw him one of your bones to gnaw upon.
That's rude.
Raazu sneers.
But not doing anything else?
Nope.
Birdie, are you carrying the fight?
No, I'm not fighting. Although I am thinking about slapping Raazu.
Okay. Adrex, your intention is to run back to the spire, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and incur a level of exhaustion.
Okay.
Here's how this is going to work. This dragon who's already having a bad day because some asshole climbed in his brain and started pulling on wires.
Yeah.
You guys have to convince the red dragon not to kill you long enough for Adrex to reach the spire, make some checks to get control, and make some magic happen. And there is an indeterminate amount of time between point A and point B, because you don't know if he's going to make it, or how quickly, or whether some other foul thing has made its way into the spire, or if he's going to have complications making the control checks, or if he's going to activate one of the traps in the spire that you guys missed and lose a limb. All kinds of fun things might happen.
We're all gonna die.
So
We
let's go
really
ahead.
should have just sent Wendy, huh?
Let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break here, so I can tend to my dogs. And let me get Elizagirth on screen here. You guys can think about how you want to play this.
Oh, I want it to be Dungeons and Dragons.